Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you the reporting dashboard for QED's Monitoring Support Project in the East in Afghanistan. This dashboard was developed for our client, USAID, and is now being used internally for QED Afghanistan. It's a tab display portal where each tab displays different information and functionality. We're going to dive right into each tab to show you what it can do. In the first tab, labeled Performance Measures, we are tracking our performance activities across the eastern region of Afghanistan under our task order. We track by the province, the project, and the monitor gender. The first section displays the total monitoring events that have occurred in each province in the east since 2015 when our project started in October. If we click on one of these projects, for example Bamyan, we see here we've completed 75 monitoring activities. It is also stratified by the districts within that province and by the date in which that activity was completed. This is the type of data that we report to our client, USAID. We're going to close out of that and show you other possibilities. We also have our data stratified by project. Our projects are over 20 plus, as you can see by this extensive list. Let's select one of them to show you a little more detail. Let's do Hemayat, for example. You see here that we have 18 completed projects, and it's also stratified by the districts. Here you would see the date in which all those activities were all completed as well. We are also required to report on the gender of our monitoring staff in the field. If you click on one of the genders, for example male, you will also see what provinces they are working in as well. If we scroll down in this section, we'll see a section here labeled Tools and Methods for On-Site Third-Party Monitoring. This section simply tells us the different types of tools and methods that we're using in the field. Every 14 days after completion of monitoring activities, this is updated to give you a lifetime number of how much has been used for each type of tool and data method. In the next section, we have capacity building of local organizations and monitoring. This component of our project was cut early on. That's why we only got to reach one organization to help build their capacity and training personnel and monitoring and verifying techniques. And the last section we see is environmental compliance monitoring. This component of our project was to determine the environmental compliance of the individual activities that were required to monitor. So far, 12 have reported as being compliant, and as that number grows, it'll change here. In summary, the intention of this section is to provide performance measures to our client in a quick and easy way to access. I am now going to review the second tab, Data. This is literally all the raw data associated with each of the projects that we monitor. To the left section here, you see the current status, a kind of visual representation of all the monitoring visits, whether they have been completed, postponed, canceled, confirmed, or pending. You can also see this broken down for each project here in the center. If we choose a project, let's choose Hemayat again, we see that we have completed 8 monitoring activities, and we have none canceled, postponed, confirmed, or pending. So let's click on Hemayat. And you'll see the different activities broken down. So we're going to click on one of them to get a little more detail. Let's go to number 8. If we click on this, we see here a little bit of summary data up top, the activity title, the sector, the date, district, province, etc. And if we wanted to gain access to the report, we could click on this PDF here, and it actually brings up the summary report. This summary report of the monitoring and verification report will bring up different types of data for us. Some of the text, some of the media, the signature of the monitor, etc. All this is captured on a tablet and live wirelessly reported back to us. We're going to go back, and if you see here, we have other 2 sections to show, Analysis and Downloads. If we click on Analysis, we've added some basic functions to show some simple analyses for our client. For example, frequencies. Let's click on that. It brings up different types of frequencies that we can bring up. I'm going to choose start date and district. Pressing OK, we see here some of the calculations of that comparison. And there's obviously a lot more you can do, and you can do some crosstabs, so this is definitely something that you can come in and get different data for yourself. The last section here is downloads. If you click on downloads, you'll see different types of reports that you can measure and download. If you wanted to get this activity data in a different files, SAV, SPS, CSV, Excel, etc., you would just click on it here and it tells you that this job has been scheduled. Click later to see its status. For example, the one before it was something that I had just done previously, and you can click on it here and it'll download a zip file containing all the information for that specific data file that you selected. This is a summary of all that you can explore under the data section. In the third tab, Special Projects, you'll see a repository of all the one-off activities that our project has had. As you can see, we've only had 2, and if you were to click on one of these files, you would download a zip file of all the data for that activity. So all the response data, media, and any associated summary files. In the fourth tab, Capacity Building Hub, you'll see here that one of our other areas in the project is capacity building, and specifically to build the capacity of our monitoring staff. This provides USAID quick access to tools, methods, results, and some of the products that result from our capacity building efforts that we built into this hub. Essentially, this is just an archive. We've listed some of the trainings that we've presented to date. So if you click on trainings, you'll see here some of the PowerPoint slides we've used, attendance rosters, certificates distributed to the participants, and more. With quarterly frequency, we are required to report upon our capacity building efforts. So we store our report cards here. The report cards are basically visualizations of our capacity building data. How many people, what gender, what were they, what topics, what provinces, etc. So you can click on any of these to see previous report cards that we've done. Under Outreach, we are trying to share our good news. So one of our special projects here is to produce articles and enthuse others about what we're doing. Last but not least, under Axor, Axor is the name of one of our local national subcontractors that we employ to conduct all of the field monitoring. Because they have been working here for so many years, we realized that there hasn't been a refresher trainer for them. So what we did was conduct a validation of the job tasks that they currently perform to find out if they're still valid. In this case, we used many tools that resulted in a report which will be posted here soon as it's finalized. Here you see some of the tools that were used to collect some of the data. As more information becomes available, that will be stored here as well. And finally, we have the Tools tab. This is where we thought USAID would obtain great value into some special insights. Here, the client can view activities on a map, export the longitude and latitude of specific activity types. It can do a lot of kind of the cool visualization things. This also serves as the repository for all the questionnaires that we have used to date in every language that we have translated them into. The map is really one of the coolest features. So we're going to click on it, and that brings up a GIS map for us. So initially, you'll see a topographic map, and the layers already added are the provinces in which we work in. If you wanted to see more layers, we could bring up this layers option, and let's specify some things. So let's look at all activities conducted from January to March of this year. If you click on that, you see here the use of icons that can illustrate the activity layers occurred in that quarter. We're going to zoom in, and you can see here there's different provinces, and within the provinces there's different districts. We're going to zoom into Jalalabad because if you remember earlier, one of the projects that we looked at under Himayat was here, that number 8, family activities. If you click on here, you see it, family health action groups, the interview with the coordinator in this province, in this district, at this latitude, this longitude, on this date, etc. Kind of gives you some summary data there. So it's really neat that you can see in particular where we've done our monitoring and verification activities. With that, this concludes the demonstration of the portal. Just a reminder that this was designed as a prototype, so there is so much more that you can do. This can definitely be built out, and a lot more can be added into the future. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.